try that again, shall we? I am currently podcasting. Quite sure what's going on. It has changed. There we go. Crikey. Modern technology continues to elude me somehow. Yep, I just heard myself, that's all I need to know. We have cars on track. Hello again, everybody. Not sure what happened there, but we are finally live in ALR Bronze. That means I did that gold, not bronze. What am I on about? I had a wonderful introduction, I said wonderful things, and it has immediately not even, made it. So, great. I won't be doing that again. No, of course I will. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ALR Gold, live with you on this Sunday night here at the Circuit de Catalunya, Spain. Unfortunately, you may be able to tell, I am not Sean, he has been called into work, so you're stuck with my lovely southeastern accent for the duration of the stream. But nonetheless, I hope to fill Sean's shoes nicely and see what gold can bring. As I said before this whole debacled, we do have a 34-point lead for Sam Swift Ninja in the Kick Sauber. He is 34 points clear of Mr. Toincoin in the Ferrari, and he himself is 4 points clear of AC Immortal in the Alpine, who is in, yes, so top three in the championship are in, so that is the current driver standings. In the constructors, it is Ferrari who hold a 32-point lead over Sauber, who themselves are a pretty comfortable 21 points clear of the third place people of the Alpine. Fun fact, Sam Swift Ninja has scored 114 out of Sauber's 115 Constructors Championship points this season thus far. I will be trying to switch to my new microphone. I'm not entirely sure, because every time I change to my new microphone, it makes it audio input or output for that microphone, and obviously it's a microphone, it's not a headset. So I will try and get that swapped at some point, but we do have our first lap time on the board. Indigo in the Red Bull a 13-1, so we're already off and running. Up the line comes an Aston Martin. Crikey. Cass has just started his lap. So everyone is starting to get out those early laps. Cam in the other Sauber, who I have just kind of slagged off, saying he's only scored 1 point this season. That's unfortunate, but he is off on his flying lap. So the drivers getting out nice and early, beautiful blue skies over the Circuit de Catalunya, so hopefully we'll have a nice, clean race. Good evening, Knowsley, hello, yes, welcome, good luck, Gold. Big up Team Chappers. Chappers is a legion of fans already swarming in the chat, so good to see, big support for Chappers. Of course, the resident Williams driver hopefully has a strong one tonight. He does seem to have a bit of a flip-flop in terms of form, but hopefully he will be able keep up the form. We're sticking board with the Sauber of New Zealand Cam as he comes to the end of Sector 2 into the reprofiled Turn 10. Now, of course, as far as we know, this year in 2025 will be the final year for this track before it potentially goes to Madrid, as Indigo has improved to an 11.8. Wow, already into the 11s in ALR Gold. This might be the last ever race at Circuit de Catalunya Barcelona, so not quite sure. They haven't announced yet, as Cam does a 12 flat. Just ahead of Cassidy did a 12 flat, so 6 milliseconds separating the Aston and the Kick. But yeah, it's going to be the last race at this track, which is kind of a shame, because I think they've actually genuinely improved this track. I remember when Barcelona was a bore because of that last chicane and the iffy turn 10, but they've actually made some genuine improvements to the track. So if it is to be the end for the Circuit de Catalunya, it will be a shame, in my opinion. It is a decent enough track. Now that they stopped testing here, I think the quality of racing has gone up, because the teams are coming to sort of more of an unknown track, whereas obviously when it was a testing venue, you test, and then in the first 5 races you'd be back at the track, and so you didn't really have much of an unknown going into it. Here comes our championship leader, our reigning champion, Sam Swift Ninja, up to the line. What can he do for his first lap? It's an 11.9. Wow, he's just a little bit off Indigo, but a strong lap there from the championship leader. Other laps have been set by Menes in the Mercedes. He's coming up on his second run, so it might have just been a first run. 27.7, so it's definitely going to be an improvement, probably just a warm-up, as Lucas Percy in the Haas does an 11.505. Does someone else cross the line? Yes, Keza goes 5th, who's immediately displaced by Equaz in the Alpine. So time's coming in, but Percy has a nice buffer of about 0.3 to this guy in second, so a strong lap from Percy considering we are only 6 minutes into the session. I'm sure Percy will be happy with that. Who is further on the lap? Immortal up the line is an 11.6. That is a good lap from Immortal, the guy who's currently second in the Drivers' Championship, I believe. I thought was he third. No, he is third. The guy who's third in the championship goes second on track, so a strong lap on the Alpine 2-3 at the moment. So very happy, I'm sure the Alpine team are. Legend is on a lap. Troye as well is on a lap. Anyone close to finishing? Yes, the Red Bull of MHD. What can he do? Coming into the final sector, down through the sweepers, where obviously the old folks know, which was the original track layout. Obviously, I've spent most of my life knowing the chicane as the track layout. MHD goes to it an 11.8 in P3 for the Red Bull team, so strong lap from him. Soundswift Ninja is going again, so he's charged up his battery, he's got enough fuel, so Soundswift Ninja believes there is still performance in those tyres, and he is going again. Chappers has popped himself into 11th, albeit slowest of those that have set a lap so far. Legend in the V-Carb, or the Racing Bulls, I'm not quite sure now what to call it, because it's V-Carb on 2024, obviously they've renamed themselves to RB, so I was calling V-Carb for now because it's easier than just RB, because it gets you confused with the main racing team. Troye up to the line does an 11.8, nice lap from Troye. So most people in the 11.8s, and the top 10s separated by just over half a second. So that is some good, nice close lap times, which we love in ALR. They're always really tight, these fields. There's never really a guy streaking out in front. Tori in the Haas is going to start a lap, so we'll stick on board with Tori. He is in none. Oh no, he's in hot lap. So we'll see what he can do. Welcome Cam, welcome Mushroom. Yes, Cam, you can only try your best. You've got to do the best you can, and as long as you come out of a race satisfied with your performance, then there can be no detractors regardless of where you finish. Where's Knowsley also on a lap. We'll stick with Tori. I want to get your guys' opinion. What do you guys think about this track, and what do you guys think about the liveries? Obviously, first time we've been live since the F175 event. How did you find the event? What did you think as Soundswift Ninja improves to P5? Do you like the liveries? Any liveries you hate? Because obviously we'll be driving these cars in a few months in F125. So let me know what you guys think of the liveries and the F175 event by extension. Of course, we've got testing coming up in a few days' time. So finally, F1 cars on the track again properly. Cannot wait. It feels like it's been forever since we've had some motorsport, and I've been watching a bunch of other motorsports in the meantime, so yeah, quite looking forward to that. As Tori comes now round into the final sector, into the third to last corner. Got 2 more corners to go, the flat and then the kind of flat final corner, which you can take flat if you have balls. Does he have balls? He has balls. Tori round the final corner, ERS light flashing, out of deployment, up to the line. It's a 12.7 for him. He goes slowest of the drivers that have set a lap. German in the Aston. Oh, someone's just popped themselves up. Who's just popped themselves up? Knowsley into the top 10 in the Williams. Good lap there from Knowsley. German in the other Aston Martin. Let's see what he can do in that bright green car. I'm actually kind of disappointed with the Aston Martin this season. I don't like the fact they started stripping away the green a bit, because obviously they're trying to weight save, which is never a good look, to be honest. So a bit disappointed with this year's Aston Martin livery, because they've just revealed the actual proper car about 2 hours ago. Not that you can tell, because it's all obviously CGI, but you know, that's the Martin, so you can't really have much faith in them. Upline for German, that's a decent lap, P14, 12.2. Toincoin in the other Ferrari, we only have 3 yet to set a lap. Toincoin in the Ferrari is one of those 3. We've got Ball, I'm going to call him Ball in the Mercedes, and Pease in the McLaren, but it is still Lucas Percy after the first runs who is leading nearly by 2/10 over AC Immortal, who himself has a nice buffer to MHD. And then we have, how many cars is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars on an 11.8. So, you know, if anyone asks you what is the definition of close, they can show you ALR Gold, because crikey, we have 8 cars in an 11.8. As Toincoin has invalidated, he had a sub of oversteer coming through the third to last corner, and he's into the pit lane with a little bit of a ruckus there. It can be quite a difficult pit lane, this one, because now the angle you take it used to just be you simply would pull across, but now because you're flying down the hill, it's a much harder pit lane entrance. Yeah, Aston should have gone with the GT yellow. I do agree, Mushroom. And I mean, the Aston Martin that's they've just unveiled in WEC is beautiful. I love the Aston Martin Valkyrie and WEC. It's a lovely livery. Speaking of lovely, AC Immortal's up by 10.5. Here we're thinking that's lovely for him, but even if he keeps that advantage, it won't be enough to displace Percy, who himself has come out on track again. So the second one's coming in about when you'd expect anyone going to try and save a set of softs for the race, potentially. Obviously, the soft tyre is generally a pretty bad race tyre. Some tracks it is usable, 90% of them it is not. What's AC Immortal's second sector split looking like? He's up by nearly 3/10 as AC Immortal, so potentially a provisional pole lap on the cards here for AC Immortal in the Alpine. He just has to hook up the last 3 corners. Menace has popped himself up into second with a handy improvement. The track is evolving as you would expect. What can AC Immortal do? One more corner to go. Can he snatch provisional pole away from Lucas Percy? 6.5 minutes in the session. 11.4 is the answer. He lost a little bit in the third sector, but still a nearly 3/10 improvement. But Percy is he's throwing that car through the chicane. He's up by 1/10.5. He probably lost a fair amount of time with that little snap through the chicane, but he is flying. Is Percy? How's his sector 2 looking? He's up by only minuscule amounts. He's lost so much time, a 10th, thanks to that pure mistake in the chicane. What can he do in that Haas, which, by the way, I love that Haas. I love this year's Haas. But Percy now, one more corner to go. MHD has improved. Times are improving. Can Percy reclaim provisional pole? He knows where he'll have to gain time. No, he loses more time in Sector 3 and he remains P2. So it's AC Immortal who currently holds the cards, but Percy knows where he made that mistake. He knows he was up by 1/10.5 in Sector 1. If he could replicate that, then he runs in good stead to potentially retake provisional pole. 5 minutes, so plenty of time to get into the pit lane, refuel the cars, and get some fresh tyres on. Sam Swift Ninja is on a lap, the championship leader, who I feel like I'm quite similar to Sam when I'm racing, in that I'm terrible in qualifying. Well, I say terrible. I don't feel like I'm quick in qualifying, but I'm pretty good in the races. I get the same vibe from Sam Swift Ninja, because he does feel like at points he doesn't really qualify where you'd expect him to, given his pace advantage and, you know, the sort of the gap he has in the championship to the cars behind. So Sam and I feel like we have quite similar. I think we have similar. Lol. Luke loves the Haas. I do love the Haas. I love this year's Haas livery. It's one of my favourites. I actually made a TikTok earlier ranking it, and I put it second, I think, or third, because I love the look of it. I don't know why. South Fifth Ninja now, what can he do? What's his second sector split time looking like? It's an improvement by just about 1/10, which would just about leapfrog him up to just ahead of Equaz as things stand. No guarantee there. McLaren getting well out of the way. That's the cause for the yellow flags. Couple more corners for Sam to navigate. Can he get himself further inside the top 10? We're looking for at least an 11.6 to feel good about himself, and he will feel good about himself. He does indeed jump ahead of Equaz, but just behind Menace, who's just behind Indigo. So he's a good improvement from Sam Swift Ninja up to P6. So he'll be pretty happy with that. Troye is not, well, if he is on a lap, it's a pretty poor lap. But he's down by 1.8 seconds, so I'm assuming he's not on a lap. Or if he was, he messed it up. Tori in the Haas, up the line, improves to P16 on a 12.2. We have Toincoin finally out of the pit lane, giving the Aston Martin of, I believe, Gurnman. Yeah, Gurn is going to get a lovely tow down this straight, although I don't think he'll be quite so appreciative of the Ferrari when he comes into the corners, as they come into turn 1. So we'll sit on board with Gurn. Actually, no, we won't, because I know you'll all slag me off for my camera angle, and yes, that is a camera angle I use to race, so I won't go on board, because I feel like he will just slag me off for the camera angle I use. And Gurman is up by 1/10, not a surprise, considering how closely he is following that Ferrari. But that may not be able to be translated into Sector 2 and a little bit of Sector 3, given he will be now in the dirty air of the car ahead. No rain to help you. Ooh, so we know it's going to be dry throughout, which is probably a relief to the drivers. Bit wide there from Toincoin. Gurn is all over the back of him into turn 9. This could turn into a race here. It is going to turn into a race. Gurn's going to try and go around the outside of the Ferrari, who might have to relinquish it. He's not going to relinquish it. These two are fighting as if it is a race, and there's a bit of contact and an invalidation for Gurn. Got to be very thankfully didn't get a 5-place grid penalty, because we know the game does like to give those out hand over fist. But a bit of racing in qualifying just to get your appetites wet for the race, which I'm sure will be fantastic as always in ALR. Toincoin does a 13.1, no doubt not helped by the fact he was racing an Aston Martin for half of that race. New Zealand Cam in the other Aston. That's the Sauber. The Sauber is up by just under a tenth. This will probably be his last lap unless he has enough fuel to go for a cool and then another push. So Cam looking like this will be his final run of qualifying. Keza's also, I think, just improved. No, he's just started a lap. What's his sector 1 like? He is down by 2/10 nearly. Cass is also on track. So we've got a few cars on track now. These are the odd ones out between sort of the final runs people coming out the pit lane about now. To start getting those final runs in, Immortal, Percy, Indigo, Menace, 4 of the top 5, and now 5 of the top 5 are out to do their final runs. Gunn is going to be fuming, to be honest. I mean, you would expect it considering how close he started that lap, but I think he didn't quite expect to have such a pace advantage over Toyn Coyne. Here comes Cam in the kick. Cam going to kick into the top 10. He isn't. He misses out by 5 thousandths of a second. By the smallest margins, he just misses out on the top 10, but a good lap for Cam. Well into the 111s now. Keza is just about matching his sector 2. Can Keza improve? Cass has pitted, or he's retired. He won't have time to go again. And there's a Haas who's done a lovely 360 around the last corner, as Keza does improve by a minuscule amount. Trappers, everyone's favourite, is on a lap. This will be his final lap of the session. What can he do in the Williams? Which I also like this year's Williams better than last year's. I think the new Williams livery is quite nice. It's nice to see them have a lot of sponsors. How's his sector 1 looking? He's up by a tenth, which as it stands wouldn't be enough to jump him ahead of his teammate, but at least it is a solid improvement. Under a minute left, so people on an outlap will have to make sure that they will have enough time to get round. I'm sure they will, given this is now quite a short lap. The outlaps are sub 1 minute 20, and that's even if you take it quite carefully. So let's see what Chappers can do. Fan favourite, that's why I'm sticking with him. Chappers up to sector 2. He's up by 3.5 tenths, which would catapult him potentially into the top 10. There's a V-carb going to absolute Narnia. What's going on here, lads? Oh, Chappers is in the middle of a shit sandwich. Oh, the Haas was almost in the way there. He's got Mercedes up ahead, who will probably be giving him a shed load of dirty air through the last corner. What can Chappers do? Is it into the 11s? It is an 11.9, but he lost time in that last sector. He will not be a happy bunny with the amount of traffic there. 10 seconds left on the clock, so let's see how is AC Immortal doing. He's up by a tenth in his first sector. Lucas Percy, he knows damn well where he made that mistake on his first lap. He knows where he can improve. Menace has improved to an 11.5, stays P3. MHD in the Red Bull coming round the final corner. He's got a car ahead of him, not sure who that is. I'm sure I'll see someone pop up in a second. It is Knowsley into 10th. MHD does improve. He jumps onto the front row of the grid, displaces Percy. Mortal has improved a little bit in sector 2, not even by half a tenth, so he's got some work to do. Sam Swift Ninja is also up. Sam Swift Ninja in the kick out is up by nearly 2 tenths. Can he get himself into the front 2 rows? What can Sam Swift Ninja do? Up to the line. It's an 11.5. It's P5 for Sam Swift Ninja. What can Immortal do? Immortal doesn't improve by 2 milliseconds. It's all on Lucas Percy, who's up by a tenth. He's up by enough. Can he do it? Menace isn't improving, so it is down to Lucas Percy. One man fighting for pole position. He had provisional pole for most of this session. Can he bring it back? He's up by the required time. He has one more corner to thread. Can he do it? Can Lucas Percy take back pole position? He can't! He misses out! He loses time in the final sector! It is AC Immortal on pole position. Unless Ball can do something, he can't. He's invalidated. AC Immortal takes pole position by the smallest margin. That is an incredible lap there. Immortal needed that improvement. He didn't quite get it on his final run, but it was enough to be able to get pole position. But look at those margins. The top 4 covered, the top 5 covered by under a tenth of a second. These are the gaps we see in ALR. These are the competitiveness of the field. Whew, what a lap from AC Immortal. If he wants to have a bit more of a fight in this championship, he has certainly stamped his authority on it. So there is confirmation. AC Immortal on pole by the most minuscule of margins. Top 5 covered by less than a tenth. It is both Aston Martins on the same row, so good session for the Aston Martins. The top 16 covered by less than a second. There are the confirmed times. F1 Ball did not get a lap in. Whew, crikey, we're going straight into this race, and I feel like I need to like take a breather already. That was a hell of a lap there from AC Immortal and Percy. Like, I mean, it's Gold, so they all set amazing laps. Hello, Camaro. Good luck, Gold. Yes, it's going to be a fantastic race. I think if we're that close in qualifying, we're going to be in for a treasure. It is cloudy, but I have been told there is no rain expected. So while that happens, I'm going to see if I can fix this microphone, because I'm not quite sure why it isn't letting me use the microphone I want to use, which is annoying. Yes, output. That to be the. But then it changes that. I'm still. Yep, that's just me being. Right. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I sound a little better now. Good evening, Rocket Lee. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you can hear me now. I might sound a little tastier. I have my new microphone actually working, and it's not on mute. Dear God. Technology, watch out for me. I have a proper microphone, and here we go with the formation lap. Let us see what strategies people are having in play. No, don't want that. We have mediums for the top three. Menace and Swift have gone hard. Mediums from 6th to 9th. Try on hard, and then 11th to 19th, all on the medium tyres. I really hope I sound a lot better now that I've got my proper microphone working. I was going to hear myself. I sound okay. I have changed microphone, so good for me. But yeah, so we have 3 on the hards, 16 on the mediums, no one going softs, because soft tyres suck in race trim at 99% of the tracks. I just need to take some deep breaths after that qualifying session, because that was closer than you'd like it. Toyn Coin down in 18th, of course. We saw him fighting with Gernman in qualifying. If he wants to have any hope of getting points, he's got a long way to climb to get into that top 10. He is second in the championship. You'd think that as things stand, that may not be the case at the end of the night, but you can never rule out anybody in ALR Gold, as Immortal and Percy head round onto the track. So, given the length of the run from pole to turn 1, those that are in 3rd and 4th do have a pretty good advantage. They'll have some nice slipstreaming down the run to turn 1. So we'll wait and see what they can do. Obviously, Menace is on hards. So, as Immortal's gone for a spin on the formation now, that's not going to do his tyres much good. Yeah, he's going to race quickly to the. What is he? Okay, that's not going to help him at all. If he has gravel on his tyres for that race start, he's done for. But it looks like he has cleared his tyres, so not quite sure what Immortal was doing there. I guess that is some very aggressive tyre warm-up, but you wouldn't catch me doing that anytime soon. See you later, Rocket. As Lucas, and there's a Ferrari gone spearing off the track. Is that Toyn Coin? No, it's not. It's Troye. Troye again going for the aggressive warm-up, except he's going to have gravel on his tyres to start the race, which means he's going to have about as much grip as a car on ice. So, Troye, good luck to you, mate. He's trying to clean his tyres. He's not going to get them clean before the race start. Oh, he has just about. So, Troye has got it. Can we get a better camera angle? Nope, the game is going to refuse to give me a good camera angle for the start. But we have 4, we have 5 red lights. And we are racing in Catalonia. A lot of wheel spin from Immortal there. Probably not helped with some overheating rear tyres, but everyone else apparently has had even poorer starts. Percy's got the Red Bull alongside him. Ninja has passed Menace, who has dropped down the order on those hard tyres. Oh, a bit of contact between a V-Carb and an Aston Martin, but it looks like they've all got through in one piece. Yes, potentially. Equaz is struggling a little bit as they climb through the field into Sector 1. Obviously, those hard tyres going to be a little bit cooler than the mediums. Menace has slipped down the grid to P14. So that is a really bad start for Menace from the third row of the grid to the back nearly, as Cam is falling down the order. Is that an issue for the kick-stab of Cam? He's in the grass, in the gravel, so he has slumped down the order. And those medium tyres are not going to be good. Is there any damage on the Sauber? Not that I can see. I think apart from that, we've made it all through in one piece. It is Immortal who stayed ahead of Percy. I will pull up the position changes. So as you can see, good start from Ninja, great start from German, pretty good start from Legend, great start from Peace and Tori, horrific start from Menace. Not sure what happened on that first lap. Hopefully we'll be able to find out at some point. But those hard tyres are not gripping up at the start, as you'd expect. As Immortal sets the fastest lap, no surprises there, given he was the first to cross the line, and we have Tori and Toyncoin into the pits. DRS enabled, so we'll see DRS at the end of the second lap here. Down that second detection point, Toyncoin has it given up, so Toyncoin second in the driver's standings will take no further part
in the proceedings tonight. A shame, really, given the fact that there's still a long way to go in this race. You never know what's going to happen. The top 14 all within DRS of each other, so that is a hell of a DRS train. Hopefully that won't stay quite like that, because that is almost too intense of a DRS train. But Immortal doing everything he needs to do right now to be able to gain some points on Sam Swift Ninja, but obviously Sam is on the hards, and he's going to be a threat in a few laps once those hard tyres become the superior tyre. Crossover point probably about lap 8 or 9. At the moment, Sam Swift Ninja is coming under a lot of pressure from the Aston Martin of Gernman, which is not a surprise because obviously everyone behind him pretty much is on the medium tyres. Troye as well on the hards, Knowsley on the mediums. So these guys are all going to be keeping up with each other because it is that early in the race. But then the difference in setups, the difference in driving styles, the difference in, pretty much anything can mean differences in tyre wear. Now, is Percy going to take the lead into turn number 1? He does have the DRS. He will probably be burning a bit of energy. Here he comes, Lucas Percy up the inside. Immortal does not fight it. It's lap 3 of 33. He's got a long way to go. He knows that he doesn't have to fight it, as Pease has passed Knowsley as well. So a couple of moves into turn 1, but we still have quite a large DRS train. The only driver really at risk of falling out potentially is Troye, but those hards will be going from strength to strength. Those mediums will not, but they're all flashing in sector 1. They're trying to recoup some of that ERS energy that they've extended down the start-finish straight. And at the moment, it's just a game of chicken. It's a game of who's going to be brave, who's not going to be brave. It's going to be DRS swapping. It's going to be working with the cars around you. Any moves now means you're not going to get it, because let's be real, chances are that you're not going to be able to break DRS. Unless you have an amazing lap and the car behind makes a mistake, you're not going to probably be able to break DRS given the relative sort of, these guys all have pretty similar pace, you'd imagine. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these cars can do, what Drive's going to do. Immortal has fallen a bit off the back of Percy, but that won't worry him. As long as he gets that DRS, he won't care what the gap is to the Haas out front. Sam has a plan. I'm sure Sam does have a plan as Percy sets the fastest lap of the race. I'm not surprised given he had DRS down the start-finish straight, but it looks all pretty equal, though there could be a move shaping up here. Here comes Pease on the Ferrari of Troye. Troye lets him go. Obviously, again, those medium tyres are superior to the hards at this stage in the race, although Troye wanted to get a really good look at the rear wing of the McLaren, wanted to make sure it wasn't illegally flexing, because he got really close to Pease in the braking zone, but a strong start from Pease. He's climbed well up the grid and in good stead. Sets a potentially purple sector 1, but we won't know because this game gives purple sectors to anyone and anyone. You could be going backwards about half of it and it will still give you a purple sector 1, as Percy continues to lead out front in the number, I think is that 21 Haas? I think he did pick number 21, which was obviously Nick de Vries's number when Nick de Vries was in F1. If you remember Nick de Vries, you should do. He was only a couple of years ago since he was in F1. Wasn't that good, was he? And I say that with a heavy heart because I am a Nick de Vries fan. So number 21 for the Haas. But he doesn't have that much longer to go before the DRS straight, and Immortal has closed in a lot more this lap. So Immortal into a bit of a rhythm, but has closed into the back of the Haas, and you would expect Immortal to retake the lead into turn 1, because as I said, it's a game of just playing DRS with each other. You're not going to be able to break away. Taking the lead at lap 5 isn't going to guarantee you the win. Here comes Immortal. Percy isn't fighting it, because you know that if you fight it and you end up holding each other up, you're just going to give opportunities to the cars behind. It isn't your forte. Take notes, ALR Bronze, because some of you do not work together well, and it annoys the living crap out of me. I won't mention names, Dan and Jinna. I recently rewatched my footage from Imola, and you two were trying to kill each other at points. Or was it Look at Lee? I don't know. Jinna was just trying to kill everyone. Troye has temporarily slipped out of DRS, so he's got to be careful there in the Ferrari. Might have to burn a bit of extra battery just to make sure he keeps up with Pease, because he will be a sitting duck for Knowsley, Kessler and Chappers. If he does not keep in DRS, he has closed that gap a little bit. Still a few laps before the hard tyres become the quicker race tyre, but obviously the medium runners will get to that undercut, but we'll have to wait and see what the medium runners eventually will do, as that is Indigo flicking all over the track trying to get past the Aston Martin of Gernman, and there's contact. Indigo, you've got to leave a bit of a gap. Gernman, who's already had squabbles in qualifying with the Ferrari, not that Ferrari, he now is fallen down the order. He's still, as things stand, in DRS of the car ahead, but he will be having some very, very warm rear tyres, and as I'm sure most of you know, they can be very difficult to cool down once your tyres overheat unless there is a safety car. Percy, is he going to go for it into turn 1? He is. A bit of a late move, but he's well ahead by the braking zone, although he has a nice snap of oversteer on braking just for good measure, because, you know, there's nothing more fun than driving 200 miles an hour and having a massive snap of oversteer in the middle of the braking zone. But it's Percy who retakes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. Obviously, no, as I said, there's no real consequence to these overtakes right now. There's not going to be a massive thing because, as I said, that's the thing you have to keep an eye out for. You just have to be careful. You just have to work with each other at this stage of the race. The DRS train is literally extending from 1st to 14th. Everyone from 1st to 14th has DRS on the car ahead, so this field is not yet opening up. It's not like silver or bronze where you'll see sort of a gaggle of about 4 or 5 cars break away in the first stint. They're all keeping on top of each other as Immortal decides that he really likes Percy's diffuser and gives him a good nudge for good measure. Just to remind him he's there. Looks like there's no visual damage to the Alpine, not from what I can see anyway, but I'm sure he didn't hit him that hard. I'm sure there wouldn't be any damage anyway as they climb down the hill into the lap 7. It's going to be Immortal likely to take the lead. MHD is probably closest he's been to the lead as he's ever been. Is MHD close enough? No, he elects to not make that overtake into turn 1 as German now outside the DRS range of P's, which will give him a sitting duck unless he closes in, which he could do because all it requires is you not saving a little bit of battery at points. Soundshift Ninja in the kick Sauber, he's come alive a bit. Those hard tyres certainly starting to become the more efficient race tyre at this point in the race. Still a little while to go before that comes to pass, but those hard tyres will be certainly getting stronger. Also be interesting because it is quite cloudy. That means the track temperature will be a little bit lower if that is affecting people's setups or driving styles given the slightly lower temperatures. You wouldn't think so, but this is F1 24. It's sometimes not realistic and sometimes hyper realistic. So we have a yellow flag for Mercedes. F1 Ball looks like he's gone for a spin. No visual damage to the Mercedes, but a spin which won't help him in the slightest, and Tori, who had to pit at the end of lap 1, is just trundling around in 18th, but he's keeping going, and that's all that matters. Percy all over the back of MHD. Not MHD, Percy all over the back of Immortal, that's it. Will he go for the move into turn 1? You'd assume so. Again, MHD is getting pretty close, but obviously with the fact they're all sharing DRS, it isn't really mattering right now. But Lucas Percy takes the lead. MHD thinks about it, but he brakes early, doesn't want to hold each other up. The last thing they want to do is fall out of DRS to each other, although that has given Soundshift Ninja a bit of a sniff here in the Sauber, and you can get a little bit of a slipstream round the long turn 3, so you've got to be a little bit careful. Obviously you get a lot of dirty air, but you can get a slipstream, but nothing doing yet. A bit wide from AC Immortal, and he's got MHD looking all over him, so Immortal got to be careful here. Does not want to lose out to Percy, or potentially to MHD. So that is the state of play at the moment. German has slipped out of DRS of P's, and that could be the eventual breakup of this DRS train, although the top 9 still all within DRS of each other. Soundshift Ninja looking like he's trying to put a bit of pressure on the Red Bull. Soundshift Ninja on those hard tyres, which will probably now be at best equal to the medium runners as Pease gets past the Alpine. As Pease gets past the Alpine, Pease doing a very strong job so far. I'm not sure if he is a reserve or what the deal is with him, but he is showing some pace, and it could be 2 for the price of 1. A fantastic deal if you take it. Can Pease get past him? As Soundshift Ninja has passed MHD, so Soundshift Ninja up to P3, which is going to worry his rivals ahead of him. Pease couldn't quite get the move done on the V-carb. But Soundshift Ninja up to P3 and immediately pressuring Immortal. So Immortal is going to have mirrors filled with that Sauber, and given the fact that Sauber's on hard tyres, is not a sight he will like to see. We're still about probably 4 or 5 laps out from pit stops, although we may see someone jump early. There's another yellow flag as F1 has spun again. Yeah, he has. He might have to pit there because those tyres are going to be more cooked than a chicken on a Sunday evening, and he does have front wing damage, both end plates missing, so some fantastic drag reduction on the Mercedes, but unfortunately for him not going to be useful in the downforce department. Indigo could be the danger here given his closeness, but I would argue that Soundshift Ninja is as always the danger given the fact he always appears to be there. No matter where he qualifies, he always makes his way up through the grid, although it was a relatively strong qualifying from the kick Sauber. Heading on to lap 10, we are into the double digits, and we do have a pit stop. That is Gernman, who I'm not surprised has pitted, given the fact he probably has had overheated rear tyres since that earlier collision No moves done into turn 1, so Mortal did get past Percy, and now again Soundswift Ninja pressurising the hash driver. Is he going to think of a move into turn 4? No, thinks better of it. Again, it is not about going for overtakes, it's about minimising the risk of losing DRS to the Karzahide. German pops out in P16. He's got a long way to go on those hard tyres. He will make it, but he will be struggling towards the end, of course, unless there is a safety car, which you can never rule out, even though Gold is generally very well behaved. Like those silver rough scuffians, which obviously will be live tomorrow, 7:30 GMT. Silver, same track, different grid, same fantastic racing throughout. Soundswift Ninja is close to the back of Percy. Percy has to be careful here. If he makes one little mistake, one little snap of oversteer, going through any of the corners leading onto the DRS zone, he may run the risk of seeing a Kicksauber blast straight past him, which, given it is still pretty early in the race, is not great. But as I said, those medium runners will get quite a nice undercut on Soundswift Ninja, who runs a little bit wide. Indigo into the pit lane. So we are starting to see early pit stops from the runners as F1 has retired. Is that a crash? It's a safety car. We have 3 ride temporarily into turn 1, but we have a safety car. Full course caution. The Mercedes of F1 Ball has put it in the wall. It rhymes, and it is certainly true. And this has royally cucked all the hard runners. Troye, Soundswift Ninja, all those that started the race on the hards, they have to pit, because if they stay out, they're going to be eaten alive, and it is a relatively long pit lane here at the Circuit de Catalunya, so they have to pit onto mediums now, unless they have a spare set of hards, but that would require them going to the harder tyre preset. Soundswift Ninja and Troye have been cut by this safety car. That is not good. Sam is in trouble, Mushroom. He is in massive trouble. He has to go mediums. He has to go mediums and pray for another safety car later on in this race. I mean, he'll take the tyres to the end. I have no doubt he will, but seeing as we saw that the crossover point between hards and mediums was about lap 8 or 9, he runs the risk of running up to 10 laps on tyres that are just going to be more and more inferior. But he has to pit. He has to pit. Who else is also cucked, I hear you ask? Chappers. He's right behind his teammate. And as you can see there, he's trying to make a gap. He does have a gap to Keza, so he can back off and try not to get that double stack. But that is the risk you run when you have 2 teammates that are close together in terms of pace. I'm expecting them all to dive into the pit lane, apart from maybe Troye. Troye does like to try an odd strategy. Yeah, Immortal in, Percy in, Ninja waits for it, but he's in, MHD is in, Cass is in, Legend is in, Peas is in, Equaz is in, Troye is in, everyone into the pit lane for their pit stops, which is not a surprise. Oh, what the hell's going on here? They're all trying to jump over each other in the pit lane. Lucas Percy into the pit lane. The teams will get to work on the cars. It is indeed the medium tyres for Soundswift Ninja. Immortal retains the lead coming out the pit lane, so it is how they were more or less. Chappers, I think, has done a pretty good job there of trying to avoid the undercut, but let's see where's Keza going to do, because he pitted as soon as the safety car was deployed. Keza up to P8, so nice job there from the Red Bull team. Obviously you do get a little bit of time, as Keza has, because the delta is lifted for you the second you cross the line, so he has done well. Have they all caught up to the safety car? Yep, they can round each other. Sometimes at this track people have a massive overspeed, like MHD and Cass, who are apparently trying to change positions. Oh, and Cass has hit MHD, so that's probably not doing anyone any good. So Cass is trying to get his position back that he feels is owed by the Red Bull, and obviously the game is not going to allow him because there's no overtaking under a safety car. So we have 4 on the mediums. Soundswift Ninja, Troye, Menace and Tori. Tori obviously had pitted early, so he had to go on to... Cass got end plate damage. Oh dearie me. Cass in the Aston Martin, missing his front right end plate. So that's probably why he was hitting the back of the Red Bull. He probably wasn't too impressed with the Red Bull's behaviour. And I think that is Cass's race. Not necessarily over, but certainly ruined. He's going to have to pit probably to get that front wing replaced. And he will probably have to... pit twice, because he's going to have to go onto another set of tyres, then pit again to go back onto those hards for the end of the race. So that is Cass. Race is certainly ruined, but it's not over by any stretch of the imagination. There's still a long way to go, and we do have a safety car in play, so we can prove that safety cars do exist. So Cass, I'm assuming, will come to the pits. He may try and sort of keep going with that end plate. No, he is indeed diving into the pit lane as he gets a 10-second penalty, because I think that might be a pit and quit for Cass, which I wouldn't be surprised, because that is quite harsh from the game, because this game is stupid. I saw a guy get disqualified yesterday from Silverstone because he overtook the safety car when coming into the pit lane because he needed to pit, and the game disqualified him because he overtook the safety car given the Silverstone layout. But Cass going to have an elongated pit stop, and he's going to have an even longer pit stop once they actually serve his penalty, change his front wing. He's going to come out behind Tori, and he's probably going to want to pit again back onto a set of hard tyres, or he might try and take the mediums for a longer run. F1 Ball saying his setup was wrong, which is fair enough, because it can, bad setups can be quite a make or break situation on this game. If you have a bad setup, then the car can really struggle. AC Immortal retains the lead. So Sam Swift Ninja is going to be rapid. The first few laps, if he takes the lead, he will probably break DRS. The issue for him is therefore keeping the lead, because I do think he will be struggling. Now, I can make these statements, these predictions, and be horribly wrong, but I just feel like 20 laps on medium tyres is going to be a pain, even with a couple of laps under the safety car, where obviously you won't be picking up much, if any, tyre wear. So Sam Swift Ninja has been a little bit done in by the safety car. He will potentially think about pitting again, although he's going to be hoping for another appearance from the Aston Martin safety car. But we will wait and see, as the safety car is in this lap. So Cass, if he wants to go back onto those hard tyres, he's going to have to do it under effectively green flag conditions. Immortal will lead the pack. We'll stick on board with Percy. I was always taught never to follow the leader when they're doing the safety car restart. Don't want anyone to get any, what's the word? Any benefits, of knowing when the leader goes. But Mylander is squealing away in the Aston Martin. He needs to get out of the way, which he's doing so at a rapid pace. Sam is going to be rapid for 10 laps, but then the last 10 laps he's going to be he's not going to be low in life. But we will wait and see, because they always say safety cars breed safety cars. We are back underway. AC Immortal has gone, and he's done a pretty good job of that restart. MHD has been completely caught lacking. He's been caught so far lacking, he's already out of that DRS range. Sam Swift Ninja is making no hesitation. He's already on the back of Percy. Is he going to go for the move into turn 1? He's got the inside, he backs out of it, decides to wait for a later opportunity, but he is going to be rapid, and he's going to get those tyres warmed up probably far quicker than the cars around him. Indigo and Keza have swapped positions. Pease is up to 6, so Pease doing well in the McLaren. Indigo trying to go around the outside. Troye and Keza are also fighting, so Keza losing out on this restart. These guys are all really trying to fight hard. Troye on the best tyres out of all of them, but that tyre advantage will not last for the rest of this race. Sam Swift Ninja has passed Lucas Percy. I did miss that. Sam Swift Ninja has got past the Haas. He's now up to second, and he's going to be pushing to overtake Immortal. Probably might try and use DRS on the in a lap's time, or he might try and go for it here or into turn 1. We will wait and see in anticipation. Troye still trying to fight as Keza's being potentially dive-bombed by Gurman, who's been given a little bit of a lifeline here after his earlier contact, and Cass, his teammate, is making up positions after he unfortunately lost his front wing. Knowlesley and Menace are fighting, but it's round the outside. Menace, who qualified P4, has had a horrific race thus far. He's climbed up to P12 in the Mercedes on the now superior tyres. Back to the front is Sam Swift Ninja, going to go for it on Immortal, up the inside for Sam Swift Ninja. Oh, he brakes late. Immortal's still there. They're going to give each other room, the two championship protagonists. Sam Swift Ninja gets through, and Lucas Percy now wants a whiff of that Alpine rear wing. He's going to try and get through, and he has got through. He decided not to save ERS, where Ninja and Immortal were saving ERS. Lucas Percy was not, and he's up to P2. So Sam is now the leader of the choo-choo train, but he is not going to be liking those tyres in about 7 or 8 laps' time. Liking them even less, considering we still have half a race to run. We're not even at half race distance, folks, and a lot has happened. If you're just joining us, here is the race rundown. We had a fantastic pole position from AC Immortal. He did a fantastic pole position. Lucas Percy on the front row. Sam Swift Ninja was in P5. Sam Swift Ninja, one of only 3 people to start on the hard tyres, and we've had a safety car thanks to the unfortunate retirement of F1 Ball. So we've had a safety car. Judges have been flipped around. Chappers is fighting with Cam. Cam has got him around the outside. So Chappers are down to P16. So the legion of Chappers fans are probably not going to be too thrilled about that one. But we've got Troye on the back of Indigo. Is he going to try and make a move on the V-carb? He is. Speaking of V-carbs, Legend has overtaken. Indigo's overtaken. Indigo's flying up the grid. It's now a V-carb 4th and 5th. Troye and MHD. MHD has fallen from 4th to 7th in the span of one straight. Troye up to 6th, and he will be flying on those medium tyres. Good job by Sam, and a good job from the top 3. They have broken free as Pease and MHD are fighting. A little bit of wheel banging there from these two, but they have climbed up. So MHD has really struggled on the safety car restart. Cass is up to P12, so he's climbing up on those medium tyres. So the medium runners proving to be rapid at this stage of the race, but we are only at just about half distance, so a long way to go from the rest of the drivers. So they've got a long way to go. Got to make sure they don't lose any concentration. I think that's going to be a move by Gernman up the inside of Keza at the corner where he was half spun earlier. Keza does have a better exit, so he keeps the position as Menace and Cass try their best to overtake, but they are going to stick behind for the DRS straight. Any changes in the lead? No, Percy is going to have DRS. Is he going to go for it? Doesn't look like he's burning particularly. He's closing with that DRS and slipstream. As, oh my gosh, they're all going, whoa, the V-cars have collided. Oh dear, that's what we want to see. I'm not sure what happened there. I felt like Indigo sort of came across on Legend. Lucky not to have a race-ending crash from that. Crikey, that was not nice to see at all. Legend will not be happy with his teammate, and his teammate might have some things to answer for post-race, as it looks like there's a move shaping up by one of the Williamses. Nope, it is not. They stay as they are. Oof, that was risky there from the V-Carbs. So we'll have to wait and see how that shakes out in the stewards room. They might be called to the stewards after that. Bit of snap of oversteer from Casser, already trying to seeing that he's starting to maybe slightly struggle with those medium tyres. Someone who isn't struggling is Soundswift Ninja, who's keeping that gap at a consistent half a second. Obviously that gap does shrink as he comes down through the DRS straight, but is a purple sector 2 for the Kicksauber. So he is definitely got some pace in that car, which is not a surprise. Not only is he quick, he's on a quick tyre, especially compared to those around him. Soundswift Ninja needs another intervention from the safety car if he has any hope of getting a win tonight. On to lap 18, Soundswift Ninja sets his personal best lap of the race. He's got Lucas Percy for company, who is got his ERS light flashing, so he's not going to go for a move. Speaking of moves, Troye has now got to the head of the train from P4 all the way down to P17. He now heads that train, and he'll be looking to break free of it, being on the medium tyres. See if he can potentially go up to the back of Immortal, but he has a long way to go. He's got 2.5 seconds to bridge, and those guys are going to be having DRS twice a lap. So a big ask for Troye, but he is now the head of the train. He can see his target ahead. He has 1.2 seconds to close to be able to get into the DRS range. Everyone else is in a DRS train. Top 3 have broken away, so my comment earlier of it's ALR gold, the top 3 don't break away, I've been proven horrifically wrong as per usual. Whew, need to take like a breath, need to calm down, but there's so much going on. Troye is actually already closing in. He's already closed by about half a second this lap, and he's 0.3 up on his PB and a reported sector 2 purple. So at the very best, he won't be under threat from Indigo this lap. The downside is Troye using too much of his tyres to try and bridge that gap, because the gap's going to be about 1.7 by the time he exits the final corner. It's probably going to be closer to 2.3 again by the time he reaches turn 1, given the DRS power. Troye sets the fastest lap of the race. So he has the pace, but that gap does indeed go up to 2.3, as by the end of the straight, Troye has obviously doesn't have DRS, Immortal does. So I don't think Troye is going to have any chance of catching the top 3. His best bet is to either break away from Indigo or ensure that Indigo has too much of a gap to breach in the DRS zones. Yeah, the Sam is not going to break them, and if he was going to break them, he'd have done it by now. But I think Soundswift Ninja, give it another 3 or 4 laps, might find himself shuffled to the back of the queue and potentially towards the back of the field. He has some decisions to make, the Soundswift Ninja. You would think logically he will try and go to the end, but those tyres will not be doing too good. He could make it to the end. He's not going to get a puncture, but he's not going to have quick tyres. He's going to be hitting that. He's going to hit 60% no doubt by the end of this race. So Soundswift Ninja truly and utterly cucked by that safety car. And look, Percy's closed in. This is probably the closest Percy's been thus far at this point in the race since Soundswift Ninja took the lead earlier in the race. Is he going to go back into the lead? Lucas Percy in that Haas, he set the pole time. No, he didn't. Yes, he didn't. AC Immortal did. But Lucas Percy looks like he's going to take back the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix on the run to turn 1. Soundswift Ninja does not fight it, and is that a sign? Is that an ominous sign that potentially these hard tyres are now the superior tyre to be on? We will have to wait and see. but Lucas Percy back into the lead. Sam Swift Ninja relegated to second, and these guys are now pulling away from Troye. Troye, who did set the fastest lap of the race, did get the gap to about 1.8, is now up to 2.8, and Indigo is now all over the back of the Ferrari driver. So I think the ominous signs are pointing in one direction, and one direction only. The hard tyres are now the superior race tyre. That is great news for the hard runners, terrible news for the medium runners, because there is still 13 laps to go in this race. They'd want it to be over by now. I can tell you for free, it is not going to be over, not for a while yet. Sam Swift Ninja is keeping up with Lucas Percy, but how much of that is pace, how much of that is ERS usage? Troye looks like he'll probably be shuffled potentially to second place in that DRS train shortly. A lot going on here in the race in Barcelona. We're heading on to lap 21. Sam Swift Ninja has had a good lap. He will potentially take the lead back from Lucas Percy, but it is he's fighting against the currents here, fighting against the tide. Going into turn 1, he takes the lead. Sam Swift Ninja, Percy not fighting it too hard, but he will have to wait and see. But the top, I mean, the whole grid's not covered by a massive gap. Troye still leads that train. There's a few little overtakes going on into turn 1. Cam fighting with Equaz. Knowsley shuffled back to 15th. He's got his teammate all over his posterior for good measure. Cam up the inside. Can Cam get the move done? Still side by side for these two. Come on, guys, keep it clean. Yep, Cam gets ahead of the Alpine, and he is up to 13th, and he does look good to score some points. I think anyone from sort of 11th to 12th, 13th, 14th are going to be feeling good, given the fact that 4 of the runners ahead of them are on the dreaded medium tyres. Menace as well on the mediums. Troye as well, but Troye's got a little way to go. Sam Swift Ninja still in the lead, but Lucas Percy certainly closed up to him at the end of that DRS zone. So lap 22, not long to go in this race. We're about to hit 2/3 distance, which means Lucas Percy Sam Swift Ninja still has a third of a race to go on those medium tyres. That was a definite warning for AC Immortal, who went very wide out the final corner. He's going to have a great toe. He's going to go for it. Are we going to see 3 wide? Because they're going to both try and get past Sam into turn 1. AC Immortal takes the lead. Keza's pitted and got a penalty for measure. That's a pit and quit from the Red Bull driver. And just like that, Sam Swift Ninja has been shuffled from 1st to 3rd. Wow, that was something. AC Immortal retakes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. The Spanish Grand Prix he took pole position for. But Keza has pitted and quit it. He is done for the day. That is why there's a yellow flag out. Troye is still keeping the head of that DRS train. Percy almost pushing Immortal around the corners. So these guys squabbling quite hard. Still a while to go, so they don't have to start fighting this hard. If this was lap 32, I'd understand, but we're only on 22. Snap of oversteer from Immortal. No move making there through turn 9. It's a high-speed corner. You're not going to make a move there. Is Percy going to make a move into turn 10? No, he thinks better of it into the reprofiled turn 10, a long medium-speed hairpin that climbed up the hill into turn 11. But surely Percy will retake the lead. Can Sam potentially get himself back into P2 as Percy's had another snap of oversteer? These guys are just throwing these guys around this track, and it's kind of working for them in some aspects, but they have to be careful that they don't lose control and spin. Lucas Percy is definitely going to retake the lead here on lap 23, but Sam is too far back from Immortal to be able to make a move on the Alpine. Is Troye under threat from Indigo? No, Indigo looks like they're all going to be pretty equal. Equa has got past Cam, back up to P12. These guys have fallen off the back of the DRS train, so they will have to be careful not to fall further back, or they will run the risk of not getting points, which could be on the table for them, given the strategies at play right now. As Sam Swift Ninja all over the back of AC Immortal, but again, he's not much he can do at this point on the track. It's all pretty much single file until arguably the straight of the start-finish straight. You can get some moves done into turn 10, but not pretty much doing. Again, a little bit of oversteer on the exit. So, I mean, these hard tyres aren't going to be doing much. I mean, they're going to be better, and they're going to make it to the end a lot easier than the medium runners. They're still not going to be great. They still had to pit probably a couple of laps earlier than they would have wanted to, although the safety car probably would have made up for that, as Cass picks up a 3-second penalty for exceeding track limits, and he's fighting with its Menace. Cass is fighting with the Mercedes. He started P4 down to P10, and is also on probably the track sheet he didn't want to be on. Sam Swift Ninja has got quite close to the back of AC Immortal, burning here to try and potentially get past the Alpine. Will we see another 3 wide moment? Potentially. Sam Swift Ninja, is he going to retake the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix? No, he didn't want to try and get past Percy. I mean, he would have had enough overspeed to get alongside the Haas, but they ran the risk of either coming together or potentially coming together or holding each other up massively. So Sam Swift Ninja has got himself back up to P2. He's doing a very good job at the moment of holding in with this train of cars. How long can he do it? Can he sustain this pace to the end of the race? Tori has pitted for a set of the soft tyres, so one of the medium runners has blinked. He doesn't want anything else to do with those medium tyres, although he's gone to softs, which I would argue probably aren't going to be doing much better by the end of the race, given the soft tyres' tenacity to be pretty terrible. Sam Swift Ninja on the back of Lucas Percy, going to have DRS. Troye is there or thereabouts, but he's still leading that massive train. He hasn't got much hope of capturing the top three, but still a fourth place for the Ferrari man who started in 10th would be a strong result for him. So we'll wait and see what can Indigo do, what can these guys do on the hard tyres. They just have to wait, they have to be careful, they have to be cautious. They know that in the longer run this race will come to them, so there's no immediate need to try and push through. Speaking of pushing, here comes Sam Swift Ninja into the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. He retakes it. He wants to clearly lead this train. He wants to try and minimise the risk, but look at that. Indigo has got past Troye, and the other V-Carb of Legend is giving him a go. They make contact. Legend is in the gravel. He's down to P7. Will it be P8? MHC trying to hold him around the outside. He's shown the door by Legend. P's up to 6th. Troye in 5th, but I think those medium tyres are starting to go, and he's struggling, and he could lose out here to Indigo. If he's not careful, he might lose DRS to the V-Carb, but I'm sure he will ensure to use enough battery to keep it safe. Top 3 are still covered by about 0.8 of a second, but we'll have to wait and see. Sam Swift Ninja is an amazing driver, but does he have the tyre saving abilities, the tyre whispering abilities? Can he hold on to the end of this race? Troye has been displaced finally from the lead of that train. The lead of that train he's had for several laps, and he's struggling to keep up the Indigo. Part of that is because obviously he was fighting with the other V-Carb of Legend, but partially because I don't think those medium tyres are going to be doing him much good. And I think Lucas Percy's going to have a go at him here into turn 1. Tori picks up another 3 seconds of time penalties, but it is Percy back in the lead of the Grand Prix, and I feel like that could be definitive, as Pease has passed Troye. So Troye, his medium tyres are clearly starting to go. He is starting to struggle. Is that going to be symptoms of issues for the other medium runners? We wait and see with bated breath how the other mediums will do. We will have a look here at the tyre position changes. Pease is up 12 positions, but the biggest winners include Troye, Legend and Sam Swift Ninja. But is that going to stay green for Troye, given the fact he can see that DRS train and he's on the inferior tyres? There's a lot going on in this race. Sam Swift Ninja 7 tenths nearly down on Percy, and considering they only lost the lead at turn 1, that is not a good sign. Immortal might want to think about having a go at Sam at the end of this lap to be able to get that move done. Potentially, otherwise he does run the risk of losing out to Percy. But that is not looking good for Sam Swift Ninja. He could have been saving a lot of extra ERS, but given the ERS habits of the drivers tend to be pretty similar throughout the season, I do think that this could be emblematic of a wider issue. Here comes AC Immortal. He's clearly burning. Sam Swift Ninja is burning in response. He doesn't get past Percy. Immortal doesn't get past Sam, as Gurman and Menace are fighting. Gurman up the inside. He's on the hard tyres, so another medium runner potentially starting to struggle. Troye is there or thereabouts. Sam Swift Ninja clearly trying to keep ahead while he can, but Troye is falling back. 6 more laps to go. Hopefully that those positions were up long enough for you. If you hear them again, do not hesitate to let me know. But we'll wait and see. What can Immortal do? You know, he wants to win this race. Immortal, fair play. Who doesn't want to win a race leaguing? But he has 2 cars ahead of him, one of whom is Vapid and the other of whom is also Vapid, but on inferior tyres. So interesting strategies at call here. Troye starting to fall further and further back. He does run the risk of losing out of DRS to Pease, who's had a very strong race thus far in the McLaren. I'm not sure if he's I feel like he might be a reserve, or if he isn't, and he's done a fantastic job in that McLaren to go from effectively last to P5. But we'll wait and see. Lap 28 of 33, Sam Swift Ninja is going to retake the lead, and here comes Immortal. He's clearly listening to my amazing commentary. Pease is up to 4th. Immortal's got a time penalty though. Immortal picks up a 3-second time penalty, and now all of a sudden for Pease, the dream of a podium is potentially back on. Immortal, with that 3-second penalty, potentially could lose out here, which could extend Sam Swift Ninja's lead in the championship. Menace and Cass are fighting for the last points position. Menace has retaken it. The sun is starting to slowly peek through the grey clouds that have clouded this race the entire time here at the Circuit of Catalunya, and Pease is only 2 seconds off the back of this train. If Sam gets shuffled to the back, or if Sam starts holding these guys up whilst being in the lead, then we will have to potentially see a fourth driver being added to the rostrum, although Indigo is still just about in DRS range. He might lose that, so Pease pushing hard. I'm assuming Pease is a reserve, given the fact he's not in the vote for driver of the day. So do make sure you vote for your drivers of the day in the chat, gentlemen, or ladies. Make sure you get your votes in. They always matter with Pease. And a massive snap of oversteer from the helicopter shot. Here we go on to lap 29. Here comes Immortal. He needs to make good. He needs to try and get as far ahead as he can if he wants a podium. Bit of a squeeze, and here comes Lucas Percy. Dive bombs it in the Haas. Lucas Percy from third to first in the span of a straight. That is why I voted for him as driver of the day, because that was a fantastic move there. He does not want to be held up any further behind either of the cars ahead. He wants that clean air. But 4 laps to go, and we do risk losing Immortal off the podium. Pease, who's had a very strong race thus far, is, as things stand, going to take third position. But it could be Indigo. If Indigo gets a good move on Pease on the last lap, he could potentially take the podium. But we'll wait and see. The top 3 covered by the smallest amount. Percy is doing, Percy is doing an amazing job. But Sam Swift Ninja, what a job in that Sauber to keep up with these guys on what is definitely now at this point the inferior race tyre. But I think that's just Sam Swift Ninja for you. As why is Menace? Menace has gone off the track. Not sure what's happened. I can't tell if he has a wing damage. Clearly he has had a bit of a tangle. Does he have wing damage? Not visually as far as I can see, but we'll wait and see. Lucas Percy heads us on to lap 30. Not long to go in the Spanish Grand Prix. Lucas Percy goes up going to have one cut the inside. Sam Swift Ninja too far back to think of making a move into turn 1. So Lucas Percy, as things stand, will be the winner of the Spanish Grand Prix if it was to end like this, but it is not, because he's got one other driver who's definitely fighting for this win in the name of Sam Swift Ninja. Sam Swift Ninja, the reigning champion, championship leader, is proving, as always, why he is the creme de la creme. He is the icing on the cake. Sam Swift Ninja, can he hold on? Surely those medium tyres have to be screaming at this point. But if they are, Sam Swift Ninja has got his head in the sand, his earplugs in, and his I don't know. He's got his noise cancelling headphones on because he's not listening. As there's another yellow. That is for Equaz, is it? Oh, what's going on back here, lads? Gernman, what's happened to Gernman? He's been in the wars this race. Does he have damage? He must have come together with someone, not for the first time. Is there any damage? Not that I can see visually, but you'll never know. Obviously, we're not the drivers. Sam Swift Ninja is on course to potentially definitely get a podium. But where on the rostrum will he sit or stand? He is still holding on with those medium tyres. Lucas Percy behind Immortal. Any moves made? No, they will sit line astern as things stand. Indigo takes over the lead of that DRS train. I wouldn't be surprised if Pease sort of let him go, to be honest, because, well, it's lap 31. You probably want to be behind the car ahead to make sure that you get DRS on that last lap. But we will wait and see. Maybe there's a wider game at play here for Pease. Indigo up to P4, and apparently the purple sector 1, which was quite impressive considering how late it is in the race. Gurman pits set of softs. He will go for the fastest lap, which obviously in ALR bronze, not ALR bronze, ALR you get regardless of where you finish. As New Zealand Cam lets Cass go. New Zealand Cam looking like to get points for I think only the second time this season. So good job from the other Kick Sauber driver, but the main Kick Sauber driver remains in P3, but Indigo is closing. He won't, I don't think, make much of an impact. There's only 2 laps to go, but I'm sure he'll be seeing that gap dip underneath 2 seconds, and he'll be pretty happy with that. But he's set to lose out, given the fact that these guys are going to have DRS on each other. I think we've come down a little bit at the front, which is not a surprise, because you will want DRS as we start the penultimate lap of the race. You want to stay behind at this point. AC Immortal is going to know that. He's going to leverage that over the cars ahead or behind as they come into turn 1. More people pitting for the points that you can get for the fastest lap. Most of them being the medium runners. but a strong job so far from all the other medium runners. Indigo potentially on the rostrum here, but it is close. Let's see the gap to the leader. What is the gap to the leader for Indigo? It is currently hovering at 3.1. He is a tenth away from potentially getting a podium here. We'll have to wait and see. Sam Swift Ninja's had a horrible sector 2. He's 8 tenths off. No, sorry, that's the leader. That's why he's suddenly so far back. But Indigo is teetering on the edge, and I mean it. He is teetering on the edge of a potential podium. AC Immortal is teetering on the potential of actually keeping on the podium even with a 3-second penalty. We'll keep it in the leader for now, because Indigo needs to have a great end to this lap. Immortal does potentially run the risk of losing time fighting with Percy. I think Immortal, if he's smart, needs to be able to stay behind Percy. He needs to not lose too much time as we head on to the final lap of the Spanish Grand Prix. It's Percy versus Sam, but Sam is very far behind. He is not going to be close enough to make a move on Percy into turn 1. Percy is going to make the move on Immortal. He will take the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. Pease has passed Indigo, so we will wait and see if Pease has the pace on the final lap to catch up and get within the 3 seconds of Immortal's time penalty. Immortal is got Sam Swift Ninja behind him, but that's not the issue. Percy now has a car between himself and the only other potential rival for this win. So, as things stand, with 2 sectors to go, it is Lucas Percy's race to lose. Let's see what the Hash driver can do. He is saving battery through Sector 2 as Gernman sets the fastest lap of the race on the soft tyres. Not a surprise there. We'll wait and see if anyone can beat him at the end of the race. Immortal is all over the back of Percy, but Sam Swift Ninja is... Oh, that's a bit wide from Immortal. Sam Swift Ninja, is he going to go for the move? He doesn't need to. He isn't going to. And it is Sam Swift Ninja at the moment who is going to come home in second place. And Pease, as things stand, is going to come home on the podium. What a fantastic drive from the McLaren driver. A fantastic drive from the reserve. But round the final corner, it is the American team in the hands of Lucas Percy in the Haas, who is going to win the Spanish Grand Prix. Immortal comes home second. He's beaten by Sam Swift Ninja, and Pease does indeed take third on the podium by half a second. Take a bow, ALR Gold. What a race from these guys. Wow, wow, wow. Look at some of those gaps. Less than a tenth between Indigo and his teammates, less than a tenth between MHD and Troye, less than a tenth between Equaz and Cam. What a race. Well done, Lucas Percy. Take a bow, Sam Swift Ninja. That was a fantastic effort from you to keep those medium tyres alive. Cass sets the fastest lap of the race. Is he going to be beaten by any of these guys? Chappers does get the fastest lap. Anyone else? Can Knowlesley take it from his own teammate? I think regardless of the way things stand, it's looking likely to go to the Williams team. Knowlesley up the line, does not get the fastest lap. Chappers will hold it. It will be a point for the Williams team. What a drive. Lucas Percy is the driver of the day according to your votes. Whoa, what a race, guys. What a race. Percy did a fantastic job there. Sam Swift holding on. Indigo did a strong job there, and Legend as well. I think those are all worthy of nominations. But it is the Haas of Lucas Percy who takes the victory here tonight to take at least a top 3 position in the Drivers' Championship. I can't guarantee that because I can't math that well, but considering he is currently P6 in the... Oh no, he's not going to take a top 3 because he's way too far back. But it's still a strong night for him, and that will get him well up the order. So well done, Lucas Percy. Well done, Sam Swift Ninja. Well done, Pease. Your podium finishers tonight in ALR Gold. Thank you guys for having me. Obviously, we'll be doing some post-race interviews if Knowlesley, once he's obviously finished with the results and that, can invite these guys to the party, or whoever, if anyone's on the ALR account. But well done to the top 3. Well done to all the finishers of ALR Gold. This is not the end, people. Do not forget, tomorrow night we will have ALR Silver. They will be taking on the Circuit de Catalunya, and Tuesday night you will see myself also taking on Catalunya in ALR Bronze. Some riveting battles in ALR Silver and Bronze for the title. We're on round 7 already. We're nearly halfway through the season. Some fantastically close battles for the championship in both Silver and Bronze. So well done to everyone who finished that race. Spain is not an easy track, I know that for sure. Hopefully we can get to the top 3 into a party, because I, for one, would love to know if Sam Swift Ninja joins. I need to know what percentage his tyres were on, because that was wow. That was a fantastic job there from Sam Swift Ninja. So, yeah, we wait and see to see if we can get these top 3 in the party. Let's have a look if we can see them. Where am I going? Where am I going? I keep thinking that's Martin Mundle. Oh, we have Lucas Percy, so we have our race winner in the party. Anyone else going to join us? No. Well, they've got Percy in because I just heard myself come through his microphone. We'll give it another minute or so, whilst we wait to see if any of the other top 2 want to join us. That being Peas and Sam Swift Ninja. Right, I will see if they join. But until then, Mr. Race winner Lucas Percy, what a race from you there! That was a very close race for the entirety. How was that race from your point of view? Yeah, no, it was a very close battle there. Obviously, Immortal somewhat undone by that 3-second time penalty that cost him the podium. Obviously, that was pretty much a 3-way race for the win. Did you have any doubts at any point, especially when you saw Sam on those medium tyres, or did you always think that in the longer run you would be able to win? They can't heave for some reason. So let me just make sure my settings are done correctly. I allowed party audio on the broadcast, so I'll double check. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah, I've included party audio, so it's not at my end. Yeah. Well, basically, guys, I'll superimpose that. I'll just say that he said it was a very good race from his end, and it was one of his better races. A quick rough translation. You should be able to hear him. I enabled party audio in the stream, so not quite sure.
All enabled and everything.
It might be when you were muted. Anyway, yeah. So, did you have any fears when you saw Sam on those mediums, especially given it's Sam and on medium tyres, or did you know that you'd have the superior tyre towards the end?
Yeah, like you said, I knew we'd have the superior tyre coming towards the end. I mean, fair play to Sam for keeping up for that long, because I know when I was on the mediums in the first stint, they weren't too great coming up to that 9 or 10. So, yeah, I mean, you know he's always going to be there, even if he's on the worst tyre. His pace is absolutely insane. So, yeah, hats off to him. But yeah, I'd like to say I was pretty confident I was going to have the win. I just knew that I needed to stay behind Immortal coming into the final 2 laps, and obviously with the tyre advantage we had, it was just try and make that move, and yeah, then just coast across the line to win.
Yeah, so we are going to be racing next week at Canada. How do you feel about Canada? Is it a track you like, or are you somewhat dreading going to Canada?
Yeah, I mean, I've liked some previous Formula 1 games. I've not really raced a lot around it on this game, like most track, so it's more of a case of, just see how it goes next week, and yeah, try and be in the battle for the win again.
Yeah, and final question. In the nicest way possible, you probably aren't in the title fight. What are your goals now for the second half of the season? More wins, more consistency?
I think consistency is one of my stronger suits. I think it's more just have fun, to be honest, like I've been doing for the past couple of races. I mean, I don't play this game. All I do is play it on a Sunday, so it's more of, yeah, like I just said, have fun. I said to Sean last week that my goal is to try and get a win this season. I wasn't expecting it to come at Spain, as it's one of my less favoured tracks. So yeah, I'd say my next goal is to, yeah, probably get another win, maybe another pole. Obviously, I'm not really known for my 1 lap pace, so maybe another pole would be one of the goals as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, fantastic race. I think a fantastic evening from start to finish from you there. You were always in the mix. Didn't quite get it in qualifying, but you were incredibly close. So many congratulations. Well done, Lucas Percy, tonight's winner in ALR Gold for Spain. And I believe we have our super sub Peas in the party. Peas. From dead last to P3, some would say that was an amazing drive. How was that from your point of view?
I don't know what happened. I just drove, and yeah, I ended up third.
Yeah, you really sort of climbed through the field. You were stuck in DRS trains for a lot of that race, if not all of it. Do you think that if you'd started any higher, you could have been fighting for the win, or do you think you finished about where you would finish anyway?
I probably would have been in the lead train, but where I had the pace for the win, I don't know. Because I literally picked up, I did like 5 laps in total before, and then saw what happened. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe next time I'll actually qualify, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Obviously, I believe you're a reserve because you weren't. If you were, then you've been snubbed for driver of the day, quite harshly. If you are racing next week in Canada, do you like Canada? Is it a track you like, or is it one of those that you don't like?
I despise that track from my whole existence. So hopefully I don't get a seat.
To be fair, that's valid, especially on strict corner cutting. I'm not looking forward to that track next week, but you have to take it with you no matter what. So, obviously you are a reserve. Is the goal a full-time seat at some point soon?
Maybe. If one opens up, I might take it. I don't know how long's left of the season, but if one opens up, I'll take it.
Well, I mean, we're round 7 of 16. Well, yeah, 7 rounds down, so 9 more to go. So plenty of time. But a truly fantastic drive from you there, Peas. I mean, dead last to P3, especially considering the entire the trial race was more or less a DRS train for you, was a really good job. So congratulations to Peas. Congratulations to Sam Swift Ninja, who got P2. I'm going to find out what percentage his tyres were on at the end, because no way were those medium tyres anywhere good at the end of that race. That's all, folks. That'll be it from me. Thank you guys so much for listening to me me waffle on in place of Sean. Obviously, hopefully Sean will be back tomorrow night to take back his rightful place in the commentary box. Thank you for having me, ladies and gentlemen. I have been Luke. Do not forget, we'll be live again tomorrow night, same time for silver, same time Tuesday for bronze. Fantastic races there, as always. And you can catch me racing in bronze, so that's always a win. But thank you all so much. If you ever enjoyed the stream, make sure you like, subscribe to the ALR Bronze for all of your ALR fixes, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Have a good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you soon.